variety of reasons, we begin this campaign with you guys along the Sword Coast, where you have been summoned to a former adventurer's of and magnificent wizard of some repute's home. You have been summoned to a lady known as Sindra Sylvain. For the past several days, the talk of the street and taverns has all been about the so-called death curse, awaiting the seas afflicting everyone who has ever been raised from the dead. Victims grow thinner and weaker each day, slowly but steadily, sliding towards the death they once denied. When they finally succumb, they can't be raised, and neither can anyone else, regardless of whether they've ever received that miracle in the past. Temples and scholars of divine magic are at a loss to explain the curse that has affected the entire region and possibly the world. With this as a backdrop, you stand before this fairly grand but very quiet home to this Miss Sindra Sylvain, who will have sent out envoys to have you come by with likely a job in mind. A uniformed attendant, as you all make your way to the door, seemingly having come as a collective, up to a grand staircase to the third floor, then ushers you into a wood-panelled room with a fireplace, a warm one, with welcoming fiery little embers clicking and splintering off the wood. That with comfortable chairs and a heavy table bearing goblets and bottles of wine nestled nicely beside it. The darkly panelled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks, shelves, and cabinets hold hundreds more rolled-up maps and charts as well. Several of them spinning over with their various catalogued regions. And a person is seated in an overstuffed chair near the fire. You can't discern a gender because only the person's head emerges from under a heavy blanket draped over the chair, and an embroidered hood and silver mask conceal the wearer's face. Even the person's dry, raspy voice provides no clue. Help yourselves to wine, and seat yourselves, friends. I hope I may call you that. You may now begin role-playing as you see fit.
I don't drink wine. Do you have milk?
Well, a little bit of transmutation might be able to do the trick. And she takes her gloved fingertips over to the wine goblet and simply counterclockwise turns her hand, stroking the rim of the goblet until the redness turns pink, and then with a much more deliberate clockwise rotation, she turns the pinkish liquid into a pale, snowy white one.
Ah, thank you. Just like cows.
Yeah.
Eleuthero, not wanting to be rude, he would take a seat and take a sip from it, but not drink everything. And he'll wait for Syndra to speak again.
She lets you all make yourselves comfortable as you all make yourselves settled in here. And once she does, she begins to go forth. As she says, thank you all for answering my call. We don't know each other at all, and I appreciate that. There are very few friends left from my earlier days, and there's no clerics that can help me at this point. So I have come here, I have brought you here to ask, with the promise of payment, to seek out and bring an end to the death curse. She lets that hang in the air while you all let that sink in a bit. And she takes off one of her gloves as she says, while revealing her shriveled, gaunt hand, she says, long ago I was an adventurer. of some repute. It was a wonderful time, but I got caught up in a life-or-death situation, and death was not privy to me that day. I perished, and I was brought back from the dead. I have since closed the door on that stage of my life. But recently I have felt myself begin to wither away, both spiritually and physically. Clerics cannot help, and no god seems to be able to help. It's natural that I don't want to die yet. Not in this way. And my associates within the Harpers tell me that the cause of the death curse is a necromantic artifact called the soul-monger. And according to their sources, the soul-monger is somewhere in Chult. Do any of you know of Chult?
What's a troll?
I've only heard of it by name.
Chult is a peninsula ringed with mountains and choked with rainforests. Enormous reptiles, savage goblins, and an army of undead prowl its jungles and ruins. Mapping the place has always been nigh impossible, and nothing is known about the region's current geography beyond a few miles from this coast. Working from dozens of sea charts, logbooks, and explorers' journals, I've assembled everything known about the current state of Chult into one map, and I'll provide it to you if you undertake my mission. When you're...
I've heard of the death curse before, but I thought it was just a legend.
It is no legend. It is very much reaping the souls from all those that have denied death.
And this soul-monger artifact, how did it come to be? Was it part of an experiment or something more divine?
Nobody knows.
Interesting. And Eleuthero kind of just thinks to himself.
I'm just getting some milk.
Yeah, totally. And with that, she carries on as she says, when you're ready to depart, I will teleport us all to Port Nyanzaru, the only major settlement in Chult. I've been there several times before, so there's little chance of mishap. She shakes her hand to her mouth and she, yawns against the silver mask that she's leaning forward in. Once there, I'll stay with my friend named Wakanga Otamu. He's one of the 7 merchant princes who rule the city. Should you be willing to take up my quest?
What do you offer in exchange for that help?
I can promise you magic items from my former life, delivered upon successful completion. And you may choose these items when the time comes. But there's also so much treasure to be found in Chult. Ancient ruins of a once vast kingdom lay tangled in the vines that creep around the lost troves that you may be seeking.
What about supplies for the journey?
Well, what might you need?
First, I would like a saddle. And then a woodcutter's axe.
She says, I don't have anything like that, but I can, if you really need it, I can give you 50 gold pieces up front to cover your expenses when you settle into that city.
Would that
That would
be
be nice.
each or for the whole party?
Right. It's very late for me. For each of you.
That would do just nicely.
That would be very much appreciated.
Yes, no worries. I can do that. But does that mean that you'll take my mission up?
You gave
It
me
is interesting.
this curse than anyone else had.
Sorry?
You've gave me more leads to the curse than anyone else has. And I've been trying to rid it for a while now.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Elithio will nod towards Palladius and he would say, I've also been a victim to one of my companions afflicted by this death curse. I am with you.
Oh, awesome. Huh. Right then, so is there anything that you guys like to deal with beforehand?
I'll just finish my milk.
Yeah.
Not for me. So.
Nothing comes to mind.
Alright then. So with that, she basically shakily but steadily rights herself from her chair as she begins to stand up. And, pardon me. She will brush her foot forward across the ground, and after having done so, she then twists her back foot while also muttering an incantation as the carpet work beneath you seems to reveal like a hidden series of arcane glyphs that all make themselves known to you. With that, she ushers you closer as you all form towards this teleportation circle, and with a rising crescendo of magical words, phrases, gestures, you find your surroundings dark, dim, filled with maps all fluttering around as it all disappears, and a multicolored blast of light assaults your eyes. Give me a second here. You appear in a tropical city under the blazing sun. The familiar sound of a harbor, creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingled with voices and shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language filled with clicks, inhalations, and sing-songy words that make it sound almost musical. The aroma of unfamiliar spices, mixed fruit, tropical fruit, with the wharf-side smell of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all that, Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of color. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, and salmon pink. All their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mythical heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colorful flowers or is draped in leafy flowering vines. Minstrels, several of them are tabaxi, to your own surprise, in bright, colourful, adorned clothing, with feathers and shells, perform on street corners. Multicoloured pennants and sun awnings flutter atop the city walls. A crowd of children, dressed in feathered hats and capes, races past you, squealing in delighted terror as a street performer costumed as a big-toothed lizard stomps and roars behind them, chasing the children down to eat them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing. Meanwhile, just a little behind you, you hear a loud grunting sound as one of those large reptiles seems to be closer than you could expect. And I'm just going to get a handout for one such creature now, if I can just get it in time. Let's see. You will see that there is one person. Where are the handouts? Come on, handouts, come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Player handouts. Creatures. Now is not the time to be behind on the old hangout situation. But basically, what you see is a dinosaur. You see a large, like, not Stegosaurus, but something of that, like, kin of size, walking down the port side walkways, ropes wrapped around its neck as it pulls in, and basically assistant parks some of the boats that are coming into the harbour. And while your eyes are going that way, over towards this direction, you can see a huge landmass of spiked, like, brownish stones that a moment later seems to jostle the waves before falling underneath and disappearing under the water's surface. So, you guys essentially land over here of the city. How would you like to proceed?
I'm
So,
counting
alright.
I was gonna count the gold. She said she gave us 50, right? Or is it just one of us?
Yeah, she gave each of you 50 gold pieces.
Alright.
You will also see a handout for the Chultans in your journals, where you can see they all have dark mahogany to very, very black skin with long silken garb across their features. Several of them will have large ring-like earrings to them and will adore themselves with... and those that do choose to adore themselves in jewelry seem to do so in abundance, especially across their own silken garb.
I just look to my teammates and ask, so, where are we supposed to go first?
I don't know. I'm just looking at all this stuff I've never seen before.
Yeah, there is a lot of it.
Kolos would like to just kind of stick his head underwater and see if he can see that thing that went, like,
Ooh.
that was in the water.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Make me a... in fact, I won't even need to make you give me a check. It's so grand that under the beaming sunlight and to your own fishy-like senses, you can make out what looks to be a dragon turtle. And you will have that in your handout now.
Oh,
A huge boat-sized, like, turtle that seems to be just outside the city's harbour.
He just kind of pulls his head back up and just is like, there's a huge turtle over there.
I'm looking to the druid. Do you know these things? Do you know what these things are?
Elithiel is going to shake his head and he's going to say, I've never seen such magnificent creatures before. Certainly not in my forest, no. But they are certainly interesting and must be revered by these people, I'm sure.
Yeah, speaking of revering, there is, just as you're, like, looking around, walking across from the other side of the city where you can see, you're seeing, like, a gathering, a moving troop of about 5 to 7 Cholton humanoids who seem to be walking beside this huge, like, T-Rex. But along this T-Rex, there seems to be this horizontal, like, form-fitting, like, very colourful, like, mango-coloured stripes adorned over its scales. And they seem to be herding it around, while one rider seems to be atop it with like a Arabian sort of canopy to keep him under the sun as he rides on top of it.
Is Syndra still around? Like, she did teleport us, but did she come with
Yes,
us? Or?
she's with you, and she's just quietly standing there while you're taking in the sights.
I'm gonna ask her like they worship these beasts like they're gods. What is this about?
No, they don't worship them like that. They adore these beasts because they work as good, larger mules, and they make excellent entertainment for their weekly races.
So they're just animals?
Yes,
Hmm.
bigger, more impressive animals.
And how do they tame these beasts? Surely these are primal beasts.
They are, but they're tamed in any way a creature is tamed through the more conventional means. Chultans just have a resilience to thrive here.
Hmm. And Elithiel is just gonna think to himself again.
I'm gonna take off my chainmail shirt. It's really hot out here.
Yes, yes. Now, that is a good point. The current centigrade around here is 35 degrees Celsius, or I think that's like 90 something Fahrenheit, and
That's about
it is a close, humid environment. Like you feel the faintest of rain droplets sort of fall across your face, while a gentle haze seems to just sting through that burning heat to you. This place is humid and this place is hot. It is clammy and it is uncomfortable, for sure.
Good thing I'm lightly dressed.
Yes, yes. For those who will be wearing heavy armor, you will basically be considering that. Well, all of you are basically considering that you will be in an area which would be described as almost extreme heat, if you make sure you don't get water in you and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Let's see.
Will
Let's
do
see.
my AC without the chainmail on.
You don't have to worry about that too much. I won't get overly fussy with it, honestly. But there are things we can talk about that. But I'm not going to punish you because it's important stuff. Let's see, where are we? Singer basically recommends to you guys that you should set yourselves up with rooms for the evening to get yourself settled in, and she recommends to you that you could go to the Thundering Lizard if you're looking for a raucous time, or Kaya's House of Repose if you're after a nice quiet night's sleep, Depends if you want to start this adventure hard or a little bit more gentle, And she says that she is going to meet up with the merchant prince Wakanga Otomu, as she intends to stay with him while you begin to try to tackle this death curse. So she will be staying by, hopeful that you will succeed in your mission.
Okay.
I'm going to the Thundering Lizard.
Hmm.
I would like to see if there's an apothecary or a magic item shop nearby before I head off to a tavern.
I can certainly sort you out with an apothecary, so put a pin in that for me. Mr. Paladin. No, Mr. Cleric. I can say that over in this building, and this one over here, you're seeing great architectural works to several gods. This one in particular has a multifaceted, shimmering dome with several sides to it. I will have you give me a religion check, please.
May I make one as well? Because I want to, if I would notice these churches too, I want to see if any of these churches are of Oktawo.
Who am I talking to? Am I talking to,
To the druid Elithiel?
Gods, semi there. Are you proficient with religion?
Yes, I am.
All right, then yes, you may. All right, so that's a good roll. Over here, you are seeing. You recognize this as a temple to Savras, god of divinations and fortune telling, essentially. Unless I'm mistaken, and that would be pretty embarrassing if I am, but I don't believe so. Let me just double check that for you. Very confident it's not. Let's see. Yeah, it's a temple of Savras, which is a great deity to wizards, fortune tellers, and diviners. Meanwhile, over to the northeast is a temple of Sune, who is typically a goddess of great beauty. And I believe, she is the goddess of the moon. And you recognize that religious check that people of Sune like to make sure that they're always very beautiful and lustrous, however they can be. So a temple of Sune is more like a very spiritual, ritualistic bathhouse in a sense. But as to major sites of Ubtao, you do not seem to get that.
I nod. And what was that other tavern? That was the quieter one. Sorry.
That would be Kayla's House of Oppose.
Kayla's House of Oppose. Okay, I'm gonna go to there.
Alrighty, excellent. Cozy, what might you want to be up to? Where would you like to go? Cozy,
There?
Ninja.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just asking where you might like to be heading off to.
Oh right, Cozy's my name. Oh, I got used to that. Sorry, I said I was going to Thundering Lizard, but I guess I'm going to. I said I was going to the Thundering Lizard to my teammates, and I was just going to then listen to what they were going to go next, so I can know everyone's location.
You can totally chill there. Not a big deal.
No, I mean I was gonna wait till I hear what everyone else is going to do, so I can know their locations.
Okay. Miss Triton, or are you a Miss Triton or are you a Mr. Triton?
She's a mister. She went to go use the restroom real quick.
Okay. We'll wait to hear where they want to go. So anyway, yes. You're welcome to make your way that way, and you will head off in your various different ways, feeling out the city as you go. Medium to large dinosaurs, which you have been coming across, all being used as beasts of burden to hold two-wheeled carts, hoist heavy loads of cranes, and to tow boats along the canals. Flowery green plants and vines grow everywhere, seeming to sprout out of the building stone themselves. The profusion of greenery needs constant tending to prevent roots from damaging the roof tiles and whatnot. And as you're going by certain places, you're getting several almond and nut flavors of street cooking nuts. And beside that, you can see some magnificently exotic fruit. They don't share any colors like fruit you know before, like fruit like pink fruit that seems to be barbed with blackened spikes that kind of curl upwards. And there seem to be this grey, soft, peachy, like peaches that seem to be like triple the sizes. And you continuously seem to bump into people as they're all bustling about. Nobody really pays you any mind. People don't mind getting a little bit physical around here. People don't have that kind of shyness around one another. And skin on skin contact is always just sticky and it is rough. But as you're walking by all of these like hot stones, you will also seem to come across more of these rooftops that have gutters to them, and these gutters lead to these upturned umbrella-like water collectors, where you can see little droplets falling into huge, or rather like large barrels, seemingly filling with water at all times.
That's a interesting place, but strange to me.
Oh yeah, it most definitely is. Anyway,
Uh,
now then, who was after the horticultural place, the herbs and
I
whatnot?
was.
Right. Yes. Let me just do other thing. There we go. Just bring that back. Let's see. That's what I wanted. Bring that up for me. There it is. For Nyanzaru. Just gotta find this bit again. There is a place for you though, but in the meantime, you continue to see lots of children seemingly crisscrossing around with huge, heavy breathing lizards sort of being maneuvered around the walkways. You can also see that the cobblestones across which you're walking across all have various huge gouges and scratches across, and some of them look very much Jurassic World style, sort of carved, like scratched up marks, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
The Triton's back.
I saw indeed. I'm having a little bit of difficulty finding this place actually. I'm having difficulty finding this for you, sorry. In the meantime, however, you do see some sort of foreigner have a stand, or rather, he seems to just be standing out in the middle of the place as he is hollering in very northern dialect, so you know he is definitely a far traveller, as he seems to look like this. And you'll have a handout for Volofamp. And he's basically saying to the crowd, "Step right up and collect my personal edition of Volovamp's Guide to Monsters. Through all of this, you will see the various mishmatched creatures of the deep, of nightmares, of deadliness. And when in doubt, you'll be prepared unlike any of you'll know, thanks to my book. Come buy it and be prepared." Will that catch your interest at all?
Yes, it does.
I walk over.
How?
And he
What
will.
monsters do
I'll
you
walk
have the
over as well.
monsters?
Yeah. So when you guys walk over, he goes, hello! I see you're all getting ready to explore the vast, dangerous jungles of Chult. And I should tell you, they are a cruel mistress, even to the best of us. They have small little sprightly creatures that will haunt your nightmares. They have zombifying flowers that draw you in before making you their prey. Savage, howling, dark-like ape creatures that seem to crush your mind. The jungles are not something to go in unprepared, and for 50 gold pieces per hardcover edition, you too can be very prepared, my friends.
Do you
I
have any
guess-
paperbacks?
I do not, and you don't want that yourself. Between all this humidity, no paperback is going to survive.
I just lean right in close enough to where not many are going to catch a whisper, and I just ask, "What do you know about the death curse?"
He looks at you, he goes, and he goes, well, of course, as the grand traveller that I am, I know everything there is to know about the death curse. Most importantly for you, my fair friend, how to avoid it. And to avoid the death curse is to avoid dying. And to avoid dying for as long as possible, you should read my book, he says, tapping the book.
How much do you want for that?
50 gold pieces, my dear friend.
I suppose carrying around a copy of this book would be useful, Elithir kind of pensively remarks.
As useful as breathing, I'd say.
We can share the book. I'll put in my
To buy this book, I
pieces.
will buy it myself.
Wait, who's going to buy it first?
You buy for yourself, he has it for him. And Volopham's like, very wise to have your own book on hand, you know. I mean, what if you were trapped, caught between the curls of an ivy, while your friends had left you behind? What if you had to survive on nothing but your wit in the jungle, lost from your companions? No, you need a book each, I'm afraid. The jungles are much too dangerous.
He's really trying to sell us this book, for sure.
I can see that.
Well-
I'm gonna buy 5 of your favorite pages for a gold piece each.
No, that would ruin the integrity. Plus, you can't just take away just 5 pages. Granted, it will save your life 5 times, but that would mean I would be losing out another customer with a damaged product. And it really is a whole book experience, start to finish, with personal tidbits from yours truly. Truly is not something you can half-ass, my good friend.
Well, I personally would like to have this copy of your tome, if I may. And
Of
I
course.
take on my 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, done. You can mark off 50 gold pieces from your character sheet, and you can add 1 copy, hardback cover edition, of Volos Guides to Monsters.
Since this isn't my money since this is off money offered, I might as well just put the old ladies into the bin and buy one for myself too.
Okay, very good.
What'd you say to call it?
You have a hardcover edition of Volos Guides to Monsters.
How much does it weigh?
Oh, it doesn't weigh. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
I won't make you keep stats of that, you know.
Alright, let's start reading.
I'll have to pass.
What was that?
Sounds good.
I'll have to pass on the book. I'll just read it over his shoulder when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. That's probably smart. But yeah, but basically he just goes, "Thank you. You've made an excellent purchase. I promise you, cover to cover, you will have saved your lives 500 times over. I guarantee it."
All right. I thank Volo, and I bid him good day, and maybe we'll see each other again.
He goes, "Undoubtedly, I will see you come out of those jungles, book in hand, scratched up, but stronger for it. You have my word."
And I'm going to start walking off.
Excellent. Now, with that much improvised distraction, Mr. Druid, you probably ask around. You end up having to talk to people who speak in broken common, and by that I mean me love you long time. So sort of, no, that's terrible. But just basically broken English, pidgin English. With they have to talk to one another. They goes hop it, and the other responds with herbal sort of thing. You know, they're trying to communicate to understand what you're saying. And eventually you're pointed to and fro until you get to what you're told is a herb shops. It's difficult. This place doesn't seem to be named much, but you know that the lady who owns this is a lady called Jessamine.
Jessamine.
Yes. She looks something like this in your handouts. You also learn that she is one of the 7 merchant princes, or princess in this case. When you come into what is like her own home, by which she deals with her own wares in, she doesn't Hmm. Yeah. You notice that she comes in with herbs and spices and poisons, and you are picking up that there are some poisons between all these other bits and pieces she has. Um, and you come forward and you introduce yourself, or rather, you come forward and she stands there. Um, you see that she is kind of bundled up, like with plenty of silks to only reveal her face and her hair.
Was this the one that met with Syndra Sylvain?
That was Wakanga Otomu. That's the merchant prince
Okay.
who Sindra Sylvain is. But yes, if Mr. Cleric would care to come forward with what they're looking for.
Yeah, sure. Arak comes forward and waits to see what she has to say.
So she stands there, looking you come in. She eyes you over as she goes, look, if you're not going to tell me what you want, then I'm not going to have any idea how to help you now, am I?
Yeah, sure.
She says
The
that with
actual-
fluent common, not local to the area.
Yeah, Arak is surprised about the fluency.
All right.
He says, we are on for an expedition to the jungle.
And
To
yeah.
stop the death curse, actually.
She's just like dismissively like rolling her hand on her wrist as if to say, get to the point. And when you mention death curse, she pauses. She just goes, oh really? Is that so?
That's the idea, yes. Can you help us with that, anyhow? With information on, or any items?
She just, she just goes, if you don't know what you're asking for, then I can't help you. Go on. Basically, she comes up to you now and she looks you in the eye and she rather passively kind of goes, go on, ask me what you need. I need to know what you're after.
Are we all there with him, or is it just
I
him?
thought it was me going to the apothecary.
Well, that's why I kept asking about who was at the herbs and whatnot, but apparently the druid had ended up there. If you were the one who wanted the apothecary, you're in there
as well. I wanted to go along as well.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I
It's you
thought we
two.
all went, but it's okay.
Done.
You
It's
can
you
play.
two.
Anyway, I wanted to see if you had any potions of healing.
Things that keep people alive are not what I commonly deal with. I'm more in the trade of poisons, to be honest.
If you work with poisons, you work with cures.
That is true. That I can do. Basically, she has a variety of poisons, and you can definitely buy antidotes from her, most assuredly. You can buy any of these antidotes that she has to any of her poisons. Well, you can just get antidotes as they are in the player's handbook price. But you see a vast variety of several multicolored jars that have very still moving sort of petrified creatures mixed into the ichor. And essentially, I think I can share this. I will share this with you. I will show to players. Yeah.
If it's specific, can you just whisper DM it or something?
I really can't because they're a bastard. However, she has several types between being ingested, inhaled, just poisoned by contact, and there's poison by injury. She seems to have concocted, from what she describes to you, poison akin to drow poison, which is that on injury they can put their target to sleep. She has several things like essence of ether, which is that a creature subjected to this poison mist can become poisoned for the next day or for the following day. Yeah, but basically poisoned and is kept unconscious in that state for a whole 8 hours. So you could definitely get somebody around for a long time. There's the burnt offer fumes, which can do a hefty amount of poison, and every time it fails, it does more poison, something that keeps hurting from the inside. The most deadly she has seems to include a tooth from part of a wyvern that comes with what she has described as the deadliest amount of poison she can offer somebody. And that one goes for a price of 1,200 gold pieces. Oh, that's not her most deadly one. I'm wrong. She has purple worm poison, which can do the most amount of... She promises that any dinosaur that got a droplet of this into their bloodstream would for sure die within that same day, honestly. And that one goes for a price of about 2,000 gold pieces. Is there anything here that interests any of you?
Poison is very unsporting. None of that interests me.
You
Well,
are a very accomplished herbalist, I tell Jessamine. I was wondering if you can give me some information about the plants in this region. As you may know, obviously, the Sword Coast has many different herbs than here, I'm sure.
she settles back as she like, you can see that she curls her tongue inside of her lips. Not outside, but inside, so you can see it bulge out as she's like brushing it over her teeth. And she says, there are plenty to be afraid of. For example, the yellow musk flower is a pretty flower, but usually its petals are not pretty. She gets out a book and she gets out some artistic sort of depiction of a flower that looks like this being shared to your being shared as a handout now. You should see this star-like finger, like a flower with these free groping sort of hooked-like tendrils coming from it. And she says, it will smell sweet at the time, but as you get closer, you may find some of its protectors, its saplings. And she turns the page over to show the horrific sort of mal-faced zombie-like creatures that have these plants growing out of their back, as she goes, or else you'll be sporting a tulip on your back.
And how do they become like this? How do they become controlled?
It infects them. It takes root, and then they eventually die, while it eats out their body and zombifies them.
And how long does this process take? And can it be stopped in the process?
Killing the flowers is always a good bet, along with never getting near them. As for that question, that's a good one. Yeah. They expel a musk that will seem wonderful. Yeah, magically animates the corpse.
I'm basically asking
24 hours after being implanted, a bulb sprouts as a creeper vine takes root and magically animates the host's corpse, turning it into a zombie.
That does sound very deadly. Anything else that you would care to tell us about these jungles?
Well, in terms of flowers, there are actually others, and I just need to find them actually, because I can't remember them off the top of my head, and I can't search by type, or can I? Plant. Oh, come on! Let me just search by plant. There are other plants, but I can't bring them up at the moment. But presume that she does tell you of some dangerous plant life that does go around. She also does tell you of these like there are myconids that are in the underdark of spore-like creatures. There is a russet mold like animated plant creature that appears humanoid, known, I believe. I need a pygmies. Veggie pygmies. That's
Okay.
what they're called. And handed out to you, you'll see this picture here, where she explains that they're very much a very tribalistic, sort of simple-minded plant that seems to live throughout the jungles, following the mold that grows near them. Unlike the myconids, they just seem to assemble themselves and move in very simplified manners.
I see. And so these are tribal people then, or tribal humanoids?
They're
Or-
humanoids enough, though I wouldn't put much stock into how much of a conversation you can hold with them.
Fair enough.
And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I say my thank you and I wait for my other party members to finish.
Alrighty. So, Mr. Paladin, where were you heading off to?
I was wanting to see if there's any arms traders or trinket sellers.
Yeah, arm traders. There are arms traders that you can certainly go to. In fact, the places the best to go to are the merchant princes themselves. You can get anything from the player's handbook, but also from the merchant prince's villa, you're after arms. Come on. Give me a second here. Traveling gear, rain catchers. Weapons! Yes. I'm pretty sure, guys. Yeah, no. He's the best one. Yes, so, you are led to another merchant prince called Ekene Afa, shown here. And they run their own store from their own personal home, which seems perfectly lavish behind themselves. And as you approach, they certainly come forward. And he looks like a firm person. She rather, it is a lady. It looks like a brutal, savage-toned Amazonian-like woman, yet seems to still be vending. And you can check out some of the prices, but yeah, they seem to be very overpriced. A simple wooden shield costs 450 gold pieces. A dagger costs as much as 500 gold pieces. However, I'm sorry, I was too quick on the ball. These are magic. These are special in the sense that these are magical. And these are all +1, sorry. So a +1 piece of ammunition is 50 gold pieces. A +1 shield is 450. A +1 dagger is also 150. 500 rather. But also, there are these special bits of inventory they have. She sells non-magical weapons at the usual price and shields of every kind. But most of her inventory consists of flint, daggers, and these things called Yukwalas, pronounced Yikulwa. It's a simple weapon that seems to be a traditional Cholton warrior weapon. It consists of 3-foot wooden shaft with a steel blade up to 18 inches long. So it has a bit of a reach to it, I guess. It only costs a gold, and it deals 1d8 piercing damage, while it can also be thrown up to 10 to 30 feet. Any of that interest you?
I would like to purchase the Yikfula.
Do you want to purchase a sorry. Do you want to? You can't actually afford a magical one, so that's perfectly fine. They give you that one, and as they bring it forward, she basically smiles as she goes, "Tell me your name."
My name is Palladius Artorius Din the Fourth.
She nods, and she takes out a small little bone that has a very refined point to it, and basically across the across the shaft, she begins to carve out your name, and she hands it over to you, business as usual. But she says, "This is yours now. It is bonded to you, and it belongs to nobody else. Treat it with care." And she hands it to you.
Thank you. I'll be sure to hang on to it always.
Mm-hmm. Right then. Anything else?
Would you happen to have a woodcutter's axe?
No. Ah. No, I wouldn't deal with anything like that. If you...
Point me in the direction of someone who might sell that.
Oh,
with a,
maybe
leather
I
strap?
was a little bit too quick on that, sorry. They can provide you with more or less a hand axe of a woodcutter things. They don't have need of that big a tool, I suppose. But no, she can absolutely provide you with traveling gear, which can include with an axe. Certainly, a woodcutter axe.
Alright, that sounds perfect. And how do you spell a Yikfula?
YKLWAS. Anyway, with that, I'm pretty much confident that everybody has done everything they intend to do or need to do. Did anybody else have anything in mind?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay, excellent. So, did you decide if you were going to the Kayla's House of Repose or the Thundering Lizard?
A House of Repose.
I
Alright.
would like to go to the House of Repose as well.
Yeah.
Same.
Sure,
Awesome.
go there.
Oh,
I'm going to the Thunderous Lizard.
okay. You can certainly go to the Thundering Lizard, but I'll deal with people going to the Kayla's House of Repose first. Let's see. Why can't I just do a Control F? Let me do a Control F. A Control F would be so easy. Oh, okay, yeah. So basically, you guys will now head over to, let's see, where is it? Yes, over to this area of the city, where the stonework beneath your feet has begun to turn blood red, and it most definitely looks blood red in the way that it seems to creep up and sort of skirt some of the building work. So it's not to presume that the stonework itself is red, but like this place has been painted over with red dye of some sort several times over, while you're going through this bazaar of wares going on. But between here, you see both the Thundering Lizard and the Chaos House of Repose. And here you is where you can get all of your day-to-day goods. So you come in, you are greeted in this humid sort of innkeep that kind of is very sparse to what a northern innkeeper would have. Everything is pretty much tables and chairs, murals on the wall. Just no wasted space at all, really. and from there, you guys can all get signed up for 1 gold piece a night per person per head, and you can totally just get yourselves all sorted for the night here if you want to.
That sounds good.
Okay,
Sounds
excellent.
good to me.
So mark off 5 gold pieces between the 5 of you. Somebody will have to pay, beside the ones that brought Volafam's Guide to Monsters. I presume somebody needs to pick up the money there. And basically, you all come back down. You all sit around the table, and you've got...
It's 5?
don't know what you're saying. I mean, there's 5 of you, 1 gold piece per person. So yes, a grand sum of 5.
Somewhere else.
The Thundering Lizard, you're
So
quite
25?
right. You're quite right. So I'll deal with you later. But as for the 4 of you, you all come back down to sit around a table and to discuss how to navigate around this city, how to possibly begin to hunt out information for the Death Curse, as you're totally going in blind. So perhaps you should roleplay a bit of that for me.
We should go and search some of the bars. Barkeeps always hear all the rumors.
Yeah, we don't know anything about here and the jungles. We may have to ask somebody.
But perhaps
Maybe
we
we-
should be very cautious of who we talk to. This is a very new city, and we don't want to attract the wrong crowd.
Maybe we should go to Sindra Sylvain again and the merchant prince is with.
It seems that Wakanga is a trusted source of Sindra, and therefore we should probably talk to him.
Yeah, that.
Oh, asymmetrics.
Yes.
Could you please give me a insight check?
Yeah, 1 second.
No worries. Oh, wow. Oh, excellent.
First crit of the game!
Yeah. Roll me 2d100s, please. Somehow, despite being a Triton, you seemingly have been able to be listened towards a lot of conversation during the day. And in passing, you've been able to hear a couple of bits being talked about. So yes, roll me 2d100s, please. Oh, excellent. So, in passing, you seem to have picked up some of the following. Watch out for any mist with a blue tinge to it. It spreads a fever that drives people mad. And with that other check, perched atop a plateau overlooking the Aldani Basin is a ghost village. All the people there disappeared. Nobody knows why. You can reach the Aldani Basin by following the river Sojan Star. And that's things that you pick up in passing.
I'm going to relay that to the rest of the party.
Yeah, totally.
That way
Herb.
they all know that.
A blue mist and a ghost village. It seems like this jungle is not letting up more than it shows, and we must be very cautious in those jungles to be sure.
Yeah, definitely. With that in mind, while you're... Oh, yeah. So, that's where you guys are at right now. And I'm going to quickly jump over to Mr. Thundering Lizard Man. Which one is that? Is that...
That's cozy.
that's Cozy. Great. So, yes, you're very much out of place, but what you see is that there is a grand wall there that's currently got a variety of names being written up in chalk, and beside those names there are a variety of betting odds being put on there. As you begin to read through them, you can see a variety of names being brought into view, and you can see the results of each one, like their payouts. You see the following names going from the most likely to win to the most unlikely to win. Big Honker, Ubtau's Favourite, Banana Candy, Bone Cruncher, Grung Stomper, Scarback, Nasty Boy, Jungle Princess, and Mountain Thunder. And across all these names, you can see that there's somebody who is taking just, it's not a whole scream fest, but there is people who seem to be trading the numbers back and forth between each other. And you can see that they're setting up for something a little bit ahead of the time. And you can see that the betting rates are changing while they're doing this. But also, while you are chilling out in there, and while you're having fun trying to cozy up with the locals and whatnot, help me out, please. Come on. Yes, you will see, you will see a very exotic lady who looks like this, called Eku. She just seems to be loitering around in here. Just despite being the thundering lizard, she seems to be having a quiet drink for herself.
You cut out really bad.
Are you there?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm here. Just a cutout will happen, and I just got to repeat myself. There is a handout for somebody called Eku, who should be in your journals, and she just seems to be, though she's at the Thundering Lizard, she seems to be just quietly hanging around there, not causing any trouble for anybody really. But yeah, what do you make with this information?
She looks like she might. I'm not drinking anything. I'm just kind of like mingling in, slipping. I'm just slipping through the crowds and stuff so I can find a nice table. Is she off in the corner, or is she in the middle of stuff, or what?
She's in the corner.
What's she drinking?
I had you guys cut out for me, but I'll repeat that she's in the corner.
I said, what is she drinking?
You're asking, what is she thinking?
Drinking.
Oh.
Drinking.
You don't know. You've not come across the smell of this sort of blend before.
Is the tavern pretty noisy?
Yeah, no, this tavern is pretty noisy. There are plenty of people who are kind of, again, talking and sing-songy words, happy to jostle one another, as they are sort of not afraid to talk rambunctiously or loudly to one another.
I'm going to try and make my way over to her.
You make your way over to her, and as you approach, she is midway through sipping as she just pauses there, and you can tell that she is thinking about something right there. Hang on. Give me a second. Basically, what she does is like she is like just silently sort of still for a moment as you approach, while her eyes seem to go elsewhere, as it were. Bloody hell. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So basically, she come forward and she basically says very calmly, "You're lost, aren't you?"
Pretty so. Going here on a mission, really. I'd say with quotation marks.
To find the source of the death curse.
Yes, actually. Really. I think it's just something. I just really think this is something that finally magic can't fix.
She will say that there is someone who will know where what you seek can be found.
And how do you know?
because they know all.
Pretty vague.
She has a very guarded reputation that I wouldn't give to strangers, but I've already figured that you don't mean to cause any problems. Come back to me with the rest of your group and I can tell you some more. Once I've got a true nature of your team's motives, and that you wouldn't do her any harm.
Alright. Don't go anywhere.
I won't.
That's better lead than anything else. I make my leaving go back to the. Wait, I don't know where the. Do I know where the other tavern is?
Yeah, it's all within like the same street, so it's not hard to find from one another.
Alright, I go over there.
Hmm.
And am I continuing or are you gonna cut this down?
No, you carry on, and you can see all your friends sitting down at the store trying to figure out where to go next and how to proceed.
Yeah, actually, I just kind of actually in Keeper, have they seen a fish person, a guy with a really weird guy with a really big beard, a druid, just all of them.
Yeah.
All right, which room are they staying in?
They're
sort
staying.
of with
They're
the-
staying in Kayla's house of repose. You walk right in, and you are desperately keen to sit down with them so you can discuss what you have learned from this other lady that just seemed to strike you outside in the other place.
I say, yeah, she wants to look at all of us, see if we're really trustworthy.
There you go. So
Did she seem trustworthy to you?
She knew about the death curse. Sounds better than what we did. Sounds better than how that guy explained it. The guy that sold us this stupid book.
And what can she do for us?
She said she can lead us to a group of people that know all.
no, one person.
Oh, one person that knows all. Says she has a good reputation, so I guess we can just do that. Just take that lead and see where that goes. Probably won't get us killed.
Potentially not.
I suppose it is a better lead than what we have currently. Pelagius?
It's the best we have, yeah.
It probably can't do serious harm.
All right.
We could, sure, we could take that lead.
Alright.
We didn't find anything more useful here, so.
Well, not
not-
in the half a day that you have been searching around, no. But I don't mind sharing to the druid that made the religion check that temple god of Savras and divination and portents can all do well to divine information. Should you not want to jump on this, there are many options that you guys could choose to go with if you wanted to look around some more.
What time is it currently?
But right now, you have spent a lot of time navigating a new city, and that did take up a lot of time, and you did deal with lots of merchants selling and whatnot. So you are at the end of your day, really, or approaching it.
I suggest that we don't find out what happens at night in this city, unless you are all prepared for that.
Could we ask her to meet us in the morning?
Well, we already asked her to wait and not move, so we should make haste.
Shouldn't we go back there and tell her to meet us in the morning?
If we're going to meet her, then we might as well get some info. It'll be pointless to just say to wait longer.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to stick around for a few moments.
Maybe
At
find
least,
out. Yeah, maybe see what else is going on. Sure.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, you guys decide to hang around there until basically. Well, sorry, you go back to her. you tell her that it's getting late. We like to kind of like chill out for an evening, you know. We've had a long day. We've been trying to take in chult. You give us a mysterious clue. We're not totally up for trusting you yet. Let's deal with this bullshit after a full rest. Is that the vibe I'm getting from you guys?
Yeah.
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 Sure.
Yeah, awesome. So, you do that. You put a pin in that. You all have like a night of rest. You all sleep up, and the sleep is difficult
Wait, I
to.
never got a room.
Well, you got one at the Thundering Lizard for 5 silver pieces.
Okay.
That's true.
Wait, I only have gold, so how do I deduct that?
Oh, no.
It's half of 1 gold, so it is 0.5 gold. So you take off 1 gold, and then you just add you just add 5 silver, where you previously had none.
Okay. There we go. Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, you guys rest up, and then you wake up the next day, bright and sticky with the burning heat that continues to bear down upon you, and it does not get any easier. It really does not. It just seems to keep taking up all that time, and also begins to start becoming apparent that you guys need fresh sources of water, really, just to get through some of this heat. Mr. Triton, you're certainly dehydrating to a dangerous amount.
True.
Yeah, it's not
Is the
easy.
water in the coast, is it salt water or fresh water?
It is most definitely salt water, as it does go out to the coast. However, there are several gutters and buckets that you can collect water from around the streets. And Mr. Paladin, while you were picking up wares, and while you're around this bazaar, you can find there's a variety of upturned like umbrellas that lead into water skins that are being described as rain catchers. That should hopefully work towards earning that water. Collecting all that natural humidity to gather into your water skin to become drinkable, you know. And these are things that are being sold for travelers.
I'd like to buy that and see if I can buy a small barrel that I can carry.
Well, you won't need the barrel, otherwise you will get encumbered, and it's not going to look cool. You have a water skin, and that will work perfectly fine. No disadvantages, and I recommend it.
How much is the water catcher thing?
I'm glad you asked. Find. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, a range catcher, a simple contraption consisting of a 5-foot square leather tarp and a wooden frame with legs. When the tarp is stretched across the wooden frame, it forms a basin that catches 2 gallons of drinking water per inch of rainfall and holds up to 8. And it weighs 5 pounds, but costs only 1 gold piece. So
I'm gonna buy one.
good.
I'll buy one as well.
Mm,
More water. the better.
Well, I've gone through my water skin already.
yeah.
All right, How much would I need to refill it?
Essentially, if you buy it, you won't need to worry about water.
No, I mean I already have a water skin. So do I have to buy another, or can I refill it?
You can refill it thanks to the rain catcher.
Oh,
I will buy one as well.
I'll buy one too then.
Very, very sensible. Very, very sensible. And yeah. All works out pretty nicely. Okay, so anything else that you guys get up to?
How much was the rain catcher?
Yeah, you can all buy rain catchers. Mark off 1 gold piece from your character sheets.
Mark up one what?
1 gold
Gold
piece
piece.
from your character sheets, as I was just saying. But yeah, whenever you guys are ready, there is certainly Eku waiting for you in the Thundering Lizard.
I'll hide straight there.
So you guys want to meet Eku, or should we look around for anything?
I think Eku would be the best choice right now.
You're wrong to keep her
Okay,
waiting.
can do that.
We've kept her waiting long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Alrighty then. So, there we go. Get that open. Yeah. So Eku is waiting there, and she holds a poster of herself with a small little writing to it, and she simply, when you guys all come back, she smiles and she slips this forward to you guys, as as it says on the handout. While the lure of pillaging the antiquity of Tolkien is a temptation, I appeal to those who find fulfillment in doing actual good in the world. I seek to rid the jungle of evil. There are many ruins and ancient temples that must be reclaimed so that the spirits of nature can return to their sacred place and live in peace. There are evil impostors who seek to blind you with promises of gold, but will only guide your throats to their blade. My rates are standard 5 gold pieces a day with a 30-day payment up front. A small portion goes to pay off the merchant prince Jabal. The rest I give to charity.
Is that a business card?
It is.
Paying her to help us out.
Well, through the jungles of Chult, which she doesn't mind starting to talk from herself, you will find yourselves lost soon. It's very easy to go in, but there's truly hundreds of miles of pure jungle to get lost in all directions. You'll find yourself getting lost and transformed in that jungle before you understand what you will have become. However, I already have gathered that you guys are looking to solve the death curse. And all things, well, looking to do good is what makes me happy. And I know that there is a special guardian of law kept deep in the jungle that I can guide you to.
What is it?
Hold
guard?
on a moment. We came back here to know about this particular person that you were talking to us about. Not business.
This is that person.
What person is this?
A lawkeeper. An ancient one.
A human?
No.
You talk in riddles, my young friend.
I rather not say exactly what she is, in case, by any chance, you show yourselves along the way to be selfish people who would seek to kill her for sport.
For sport.
That's right.
And if I may, these spirits of nature that return to their sacred places, you're implying that they are in imbalance.
No, they are most definitely out of balance. Every single instance of this, every single instance of this impurity can be found of the roaming undead that continue to fill the jungles. And our heritage is lost between the many ruins that we cannot protect, or defend, or restore. These are but places for demons and monsters to dwell.
I see.
I walk to the others and whisper, do you think she can be trusted?
Anyone can be
I'm
trusted
not
until
paying
they
her.
cannot.
I'm not paying her.
Well, if she does what she says, she's worth the money.
I do
we
like
even
where
have the money to pay her as a party?
I have 3 gold pieces right now.
Be 150 gold pieces if we
Yeah.
do the 30-day payment up front.
Yeah, I have 59, so I can give like 50.
I have my 50. I
Let's
just
see.
need one more.
5 times 10 is 50, and then you need 150 essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. So I could get 50. That's what I'm saying.
Well, only I bought the book, and wait, who else bought the book?
I did already.
Okay, so only two of us bought it. So
I've
then,
got 54 gold.
I still got
Okay.
I still got like 100 something gold left. But actually, I have an idea. I'm going to show her the book, and I'm going to ask, anything in this book actually useful besides your knowledge?
She goes, I know that man well, at least from his rantings, and I've heard talk from the book. There are many good bits of information in there. Certainly. That man has spent a long time quietly stalking the jungle in his pursuit of knowledge. And his knowledge will definitely help you pass through safely.
I'm sure you know something he doesn't, right?
I know the jungle in terms of taking you where you're looking to go and not getting turned around inside it, or needing to follow the coast for a quarter of a year to find your way back to Port Nyanzaru.
I don't enjoy getting lost. If you are willing to spare your gold, I'm willing to spare mine.
Getting lost in the jungle will mean your death, eventually. Regardless of how strong you are, eventually you will just be exhausted with the constant threat of the roaming undead, the dinosaurs, and all other things that live in there.
I groan and just. All right, let's go. All right, what? And I looked at my group. I say, "It's like, all right, what are we offering to this pot?"
I have 50 of my gold.
Yeah, I can do 50.
I guess I'll do the other 50 if you guys really want to do this, if you guys really trust her.
All right, that sells it then. If you guys are doing it.
She basically sees the money. You guys are like counting it at the table in front of her almost just to basically count it all out. Yep, I was just saying that you guys are basically counting this money in front of her really to measure out the money, so she knows it's all legit, and she basically says, as says on my card, I gotta make sure I pay Jobal for the services of my commission. And as I said there, the rest is for charity. And with that, we can begin your exploration into the Chilton jungles today.
We wouldn't be able to do it today. We would like to rest and also talk to our Did we just wake up?
Yeah.
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 Oh, I thought this was the next day.
No.
Alright, in that case, yeah. We'd have to meet up with the person who hired us and get the information she has before we head out.
If you must. Anyway, yeah, so with that, she will take leave of herself and she will take that money towards her merchant prince Jabal. As for you guys, you will make your way over to Wakanga Otamu's private merchant villa, which is located over here. And you make your way by finding some stairs to then lead up around these major buildings that line this way, hither and thither, including but not limited to the Temple of Savras, which we had already gone into beforehand. Right, but also there does seem to be this this golden throne palace with its marvelous golden center top dome that capitalizes this huge like building that you're walking past. And you can see that there are merchants all lined up looking to try and make some appointments as they're all trying to gain access here, as there does seem to be this line of people trying to get seen there. But you pass on by, and out in the porch, you can see Sindra Sylvain sort of sitting there, still and quietly, while you can see the face of this bearded Chultan man, who smiles warmly at you as you come forward, and he just goes, "Ah, you are the new ones that Sindra has brought over. Well, welcome, welcome indeed. Sindra is a dear friend of mine, and I do hope that you'll do her best for her."
It's very nice to meet you. But what do you mean, new ones?
Well, that you aren't the first. There have been several that Sindra has brought by to try and complete her quest. Isn't that right, Sindra? And she just goes, "Ah, yes, there have been many before."
Oh, this is new
And,
information.
You needed an incentive to come over here. I couldn't afford any fear or hesitation to prevent me dying to the death curse. You'll be the ones to tip the scales, though.
You chose right, because you chose Pelagius.
See? You were born for the jungles.
In any case, Sindra, we have found a guide, one of Eku, and we were thinking of heading out today or as soon as possible. However, we wanted to know if you could give us any sort of information before we head out that is necessary for our quest.
I've told you all that I know. There's nothing more I can share. You need to find the soul-monger, wherever it is. And there are few who likely know where it is. Only that it does reside deep in the jungles of Chult. You are going to need to be the ones to discover it.
So I'm turning to the merchant priest.
Yep.
So you are one of the merchant priests here, one of the big guys, one of the bosses. What kind of merchant are you? What are you selling?
I prefer the pursuit of knowledge in most of its arcane forms. I can sell scrolls to you if that is what you're interested in. I have a penchant for the intellectuals of this world. I am fascinated by their in-depth knowledge. That is my passion.
I only have 6 gold pieces. What do you have that's worth around there?
Nothing. Come back with more money for sure. And then we can talk.
Any knowledge which can help us on our trip?
I figured you might say that. Many have before. And with that in mind, I am not foolish. I did not become a merchant prince by giving my wares away freely, even if it was to a good cause. If you're just going to die midway, then that would be a terrible investment.
Is there anything you
Perhaps
want us to
then-
do while we're out in the jungle?
Sorry, try that again?
Is there anything you want us to do while we're out in the jungle? Maybe that could be a form of payment.
I admire your persistence, but there's nothing out there that I truly need.
If we were to say come back from our expedition into the jungle to meet our contact, would you be more willing?
If you came back to the jungle filled with riches to trade with me, by of course.
Just how
So-
many have died before us while partaking this quest?
Ooh, there have been many that I have not really followed the work of or known of, and I can't even tell you if they've died, quite honestly. All I've known is that we have seen many go into the jungle, and only a few come back out.
And these few, what happened to them?
lost.
Alright. So what type of riches are you talking about here? What's in this place?
Hang on. He goes, you know what? There has been something that you do seem like you're very keen. I could only give you a potion of healing for this, perhaps, but maybe there's something I could do. He goes to a journal. It's water damaged, and it looks particularly old, but you can see that he tries to handle it with great care as he goes. He opens it in front of you as he goes. There seems to be some mention of some sort of companion. You're welcome to this journal, and you're welcome to try and find this artifact. This what should be a guardian that should respond to the name of Vaughn. And you can see in the journal that there's a picture of an amulet. But he says that if you can find this amulet that should possibly be controlling this lost guardian, I will happily offer you a spell book containing 15 spells. Enough to set any wizard up to a fine life.
And this guardian, what is known about it?
It is known by the name of Vaughn. And if you give me a second here, he will actually go to your maps that you have, and he will mark off the location of where the Guardian is. Because the Guardian is stationary, it does not seem to move about. But basically, yes. Boop. 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 There we go. So on your player sheets, you should be able to see the location of Vaughn. And if we go as the crow flies on Port Nyanzaru, that is about 135 miles away, or 13 days of travel or so. Just let that sink in.
Wait, how long? Sorry, does it take?
About 13 days of travel.
13 days. Wow.
Yeah, trekking through the jungle is rough. Half that much.
And did she?
Half that much if you dash.
Oh, dash. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Eku said about this contact that she had. Did she say exactly where she was, or was she just going to show it to us?
She was going to show it to you.
Okay, but she didn't say an exact location on a map or anything yet.
No.
Okay. I guess I'll look at the rest of the party and say, well, we have two options then, I guess.
Is there any more information on
Nope.
how to find this amulet?
No, there is not. There is only the mention of the guardian that it may well control, with being Vaughn. But all other details are lost. Otherwise, he would not need you.
The person who would know all might know where it is, so we should go.
Yes. Very, very wise. That would be a very good choice. Yes.
I agree. I think we should follow Eku to this contact and ask her then.
Okay. So, any other business you guys deal with?
No, that's about it.
We should get some rations before we head out.
Very wise. Until Mr. Cleric can choose to create food and water, you know.
I can, sure, I can use that.
Yeah, I figured between the cleric and the druid, somebody could do that spell.
Yeah, we can. We can. Yeah, do it like one day. I do it one day. The druid do it. Is it a ritual? I don't remember.
I don't believe it is. I could be wrong. Create food and water. Finding out by going to the compendium to look this stuff up. And it does not have the ritual tag. So, no, it is not. And,
Okay.
oh, and it's a 3rd level spell. Yeah. Yeah, create food and water, 3rd level spell. Which I don't believe you will have access to, even at 3rd level, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
No, so you can't even do that. You will need to buy food and rations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The druid can create good berries.
Yeah, you could do good berries.
I don't have that spell prepared, but I mean, I can when we sleep next time if you'd like.
Yeah, but we can buy some rations anyway.
Just in case, we should buy some rations.
Okay, well, let's see. Player's Handbook.
By the way, I can purify water. So...
That's cool, but with the rain catcher, that won't be necessary.
Okay.
Or perhaps it might be. Perhaps you may need to drink river water. You never know.
Never know.
5 SP for 1 day's ration.
5 SP for 1 day ration? Is that what you said, my dude, from the background?
It was.
Excellent. Well, by all means, buy your fill of rations. Absolutely.
I got 5 days already. How much for another 5?
Well, it's 5 silver pieces per ration, apparently.
2 gold and 5 silver pieces for that many more rations, I think. Yes.
Yep, by all means.
How much is silver to gold?
It is 10 silver to 1 gold piece.
Alright, so alright, I can just subtract 5 gold.
Excellent. Alright, fair enough. So, with that in mind, you guys do all the trading that you may want to get up to, whatever you fancy. And with that, you can find Eku waiting just near the 7 exits of the city. I don't like this music. I don't like this Casanova that I got going on. That'll do. Whoop, turn that down. Yeah, there we go. So, essentially, you meet up back with her over towards this Malar's Throat street walk. And from here, you can see that on your way out of Port Nyanzaru, being led by her, I'm going to have to turn that down even more. Where are we? Malar's Throat, where are we? Yeah, sorry. So over here, you actually will be able to catch that there is a Temple of Timora here, built like a sturdy blockhouse of heavy stone. It's not an elegant structure, but residents on here are pretty safe from the higher ground whenever a bit of a flood seems to flow by from the city, you know. Yeah, this region outside the city walls of Port Nyanzaru is a bit of a districty, like a slum district sort of place. 2 sheer jungle-draped ridges flank a deep ravine. Ramshackle buildings cling to the sides of the ridges, each structure seemingly built atop the lower one's roof. And, you guys pass under 4 bridges of rope and bamboo that hang above the ravine. Some of them are 200 feet long or longer and sway with the people that are walking above them. And, well, that stuff. With that in mind, you guys begin to be led by Eku as she takes you out of the city. and you begin to start going into the wide, long, streaming jungles of Chult, right ahead of you. Now here you have your player map, and to work with this for everybody, I'm going to bring this to the token layer. Going to move it to Port Nyanzaru, and I am going to have it be controlled by all players. If you click it, you should be able to move it around. Now, here's the interesting thing. I will know where you guys are at all times. If you do not keep track of your token there, and you look back to it, unsure where you are, I will happily say you are lost. Just to clarify.
No.
I will not correct you if you are wrong. But you have a guide, so you're fine.
Wait, where'd you put our tokens?
Look here. There is a party token, and everybody has control of it.
Oh, it's small.
It is small. Well, it's actually 10 miles in diameter, so it's not that small. But that signifies where you are day by day. You are in control of that. I have my own, but I'm not going to show it to you. If you are off, then that's entirely up to you. So if you do get lost, that's utterly up to you to figure out.
Alright. Who's in charge of directions besides Eku then?
Well, while you have Eku, you won't need to worry. Anyway, she says and explains to you that to take you to the guide, you guys will essentially be following the Riven Sojin Star. Or you can choose to follow the Mist Cliff Mountains. She recommends, following the River Sojin Star along this way probably is the best bet because you will always stay near a source of water. And it leads easily in and out of Port Nyanzaru. And then following that, she describes that you guys will then head west just after Camp Vengeance.
River sounds good.
Look.
I mean, you can get lost much harder if you follow the river. So
That's right.
What are the benefits of going around Mistcliff Mountains?
No real benefit, really. It's just a matter of choice. She has a place to lead you to, and yeah.
Why does she recommend the river?
Go on, talk. Don't be shy. What were you going to say?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I'm gonna look at Kolos and I'm gonna say, what was that one rumor that you heard about the river, or something? Wasn't there a rumor about following the Riven Sojin Star? I think.
Silence.
It was
Oh, there we go.
following it to the ghost town, I believe.
To the ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask Eku about that ghost village, if she knows anything about that.
We won't be going there. There is a great evil there. It's not entirely a ghost village because those would imply that the spirits were left untouched there.
I see.
Oh,
And so we won't be going past that then.
Well, in all honesty, we will be close, but we will not be disturbing the resident that resides there over
What
in
is the name of that ghost village?
Mumbala.
How do you spell that?
Over here, if you look at the arrow, there is a site called Mumbala. Mbala.
Yes, I do. Yes, thank you.
Is atop a high rising plateau, and we will not be needing to climb that plateau and simply shall walk around it.
I see.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
I say we agree on taking the river, but that's up to you guys.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds good. Hard to get lost.
I'm fine with it.
Alrighty
The
then.
river sounds like the best
Too
option.
hot to be climbing mountains.
Yes, excellent. So with that, you guys begin to set off through the ranges, following the River Sujin Star right out of Port Nyanzaru. Yeah. You're dancing across like it's not even anything, but day by day, that's 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 10 days. Alright, we're going to stop you there because you're getting so ambitious you don't even
Oh God! Who's
utterly
doing that?
comprehend where you are. Jeez.
Oh no! Who did that?
Don't know. Well,
Which
actually,
one?
I told you
I know who
guys.
exactly it did.
Well, actually,
Yeah, we have a guide, right?
you know what? I told you guys you're in control of that, and if you forget your locations, well, then that's up to you. Anyway,
Oh no!
day 1
Uh,
passes. Day 2 passes.
Yeah, let's
Day
take it
3
by day.
passes. By day 3 of your journey, you no longer are near Port Nyanzaru, as that is long in the distance, and you can just see the Bay of Chult off over in the far horizon, while the Mistcliff Mountains start coming over into view. And you find yourselves on the east side of the river, as you basically carry on down, looking for an opportunity to cross eventually. Maybe there'll be some, thick rolling plant life to swing across or whatnot. But it is like a pretty slow moving river, just gently moving downstream into the Bay of Chult. Day 3
Alright.
passes, day 4 passes, day
I was gonna-
5, day 6,
I
day
was gonna.
7.
I was gonna offer my rope that could be used as a way to get across.
Well, yeah, you could certainly lasso around a tree, perhaps with enough encouragement, but there's nothing that you could particularly surf across. Maybe describe to me how you plan to cross that river with just a rope.
I was gonna. Well, I thought we could have some. I was gonna ask if anyone had something that they could tie to the end of the rope, and then just throw over the stick to the other side of the river, and then we kind of just use it as a sort of way to keep ourselves anchored while we just walk over it.
How fast is the river flowing? Oh yeah, it's pretty slow. I meant to ask how deep is the river.
That is unclear. With it being so murky, you're not particularly seeing anything.
I'd like to stick my spear down and see how far it can go before it touches ground.
Deeper than your spear.
I'll pull it
I'd
back
probably
out.
have a hard time seeing too because it's all murky.
Yeah, pretty much. You'll feel some eely creatures sort of slither across in there, I imagine, while you're sticking your hand in there. Just maybe some fish, just like roaming around. On the other side of the riverside, just like it's full-on Jurassic World rather, you will see dinosaurs come to the nearest watering hole. Allosaurus even sort of eyeing you from across the river, while they turn their head to lap at the cool water, while Eku basically prompts you to keep marching on.
There goes that idea. Let's just keep following her.
Day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10. So your path seems to have you be pretty, like, uneventful and very quiet, though the humidity continues to bear down upon you as, thanks to those rain catchers, the intermittent monsoons that continue to, like, cascade rain across you, continue to, like, weigh in and soak you to your being, making every footstep you take all that more harder, until you are getting to the point that 10-mile progress a day is about the kind of trek speed you can hope for. On your, I think it's like your 10th day or so, you begin to see, on your 10th day, you come across a site that looks particularly, manufactured, in the sense that there is things going on with it. If I could just kindly get some fog of war. No, I won't fog of war this. Nothing really to hide. But over here at this point, you've come across this camp that is pressed up against this gargantuan statue of a humanoid with what appears to be like a crocodile on its head, or the crocodile is its head. It's very difficult to understand.
You said you wouldn't fog of water, so you would.
I didn't understand that question. If you'd like to try that again, please.
I said you would not fog of waters, or you would.
Because we can't see anything.
Yeah, I won't fog of war this. You'll be able to see this. I don't mind. It doesn't share too much, other than there is a temple in there which is apparent. It still doesn't describe more things, but anyway, you come upon an abandoned riverside camp strewn with wreckage. The tents are moldy and tattered, and all the permanent structures appear to be burned to the ground. 2 intact rowboats are tied off to a short dock. Sorry. North of the camp is a ridge, built into which is an 80-foot tall stone statue, carved to look like a man with a crocodile on its back. Between the statue's feet is a stone archway leading to a dark tunnel. To the left of the statue is a crude animal pen with a small panicked bird running around inside it. But other than that, there are no other signs of life.
I just go up to Echo and ask, "Is this where he is?"
No, this is not where this is not where the Oracle is. This is not where the Lawkeeper is. No. But we should take heed, because last time I came through here, there was a still teeming group of Order of the Gauntlet members looking to purge the undead from around here.
And why should we be wary of them if they're purging the undead?
Not wary of them. Their camp has been abandoned. Something unearthed them.
We should have a look. See if there's any surviving.
No, I'm going to stop him right there and say, no, we're going to just go through this place and find this associate. No sidetracks.
So you want to take a look at this place or not?
We're paying per day. We should probably go find the Lordkeeper first, then come back. Maybe.
Yeah?
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. But this would make a good place to camp if you so chose. It just means comfortable enough. You could also make use of the rowboats that are tied here, left abandoned too.
That's mine.
The rowboats will make this quicker.
Yeah, the rowboat certainly could make this quicker. It would do so by doubling your movement speed while on water.
Then we should probably do that. What's the carrying capacity?
It'll carry all of you between those two. 3 per boat.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
I also have a proficiency in water vehicles.
Ah, very nice. Yes. So you can absolutely maneuver around in those oars and boats for sure then, if you so wanted.
So it's up to you guys.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
take
do
them. They're free.
I think I heard that they were free, which you are not wrong in presuming. So you take them, you settle yourselves in. Miss Triton shows you the ropes of sitting in a rowboat, really, and you guys set back off, choosing to camp maybe just somewhere outside of here.
That sounds plausible.
That sounds pleasable, is what I heard. But I'm pretty sure that means pleasant. So, moving steadily along. Yes. 1 day. 2 days. Oh, no, that's where they are. Yeah. 1 day. 2 days. Now, at this stage of your journey, you make up the distance much faster now, as you don't have to carry everything on your back, and you can instead just sit and take turns rowing. But over here, you now actually approach another camp. This one, whoops, that's the same one you were just on. That's not the one. That's not the one. I will actually forward this one. I'll probably forward this one. Oh, not dynamic lighting, because dynamic lighting makes everything impossible. Just a moment. I'll move you guys across. But yeah, as you're coming through this river, you're actually now looking at the western bank area. As you can see that there is another settlement that appears to be heavily fortified, unlike Camp Righteous, where you just came from just a little bit earlier ago. Well, a couple of days ago, more realistically. Oh, no. No, I seem to have exited the game. That's no good, because I used my mouse and I pressed the backspace sort of key. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Alright, back into the jungle we go. So, yeah. Now, as you're approaching here, through the foliage, you see a crude timber fortification. A walled compound with watchtowers and tents inside it, encircled by a ditch bristling with sharpened stakes and large gatehouse faces the river, on the shore of which are 4 rowboats to a wooden post. Scattered around the fort are piles of charred human corpses and flayed animal carcasses swarming with flies. How do you guys choose to view all this?
Go to Echo say, is this the place?
She says, no, the place that we need is much closer to the mountains. This is not the place. It won't be for a little while further. No, this is likely another grouping of the Order of the Gauntlets.
Do we see any people?
Do you see any people? Good question. Good question. Sorry. Yes, you can see that atop the gatehouse, you can see that there are 2 humanoid guards that are patrolling up and down on that area, who are overlooking to see who might be nearby. And they certainly saw you guys as you're approaching, though they're not like shouting out to anybody or anything like that. They're just making sure to take note of you and seeing if you're coming to deal with them or to approach them, you know?
So seems like this place is somewhere we can maybe take a stop, but
We can rest here.
If there were flies, then is it safe to assume that this was recent?
Well, that's what you're getting from the animal carcasses.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
What's our stock looking like now? Do we blow through all our rations?
So, yeah, I mean, at this point, if you haven't done any amount of resource gathering and you've been just focused on traveling, then yes, you will be burning through your resources at this point, and you may well have, like, gone through your rations, certainly, at this point.
Oh, definitely. I'm at 0.
Yeah, most certainly, then.
Alright.
You think they got a shop in here?
They probably have supplies.
Yeah, they may have supplies.
And if they know if this is truly the Order of the Gauntlet settlement, then they may be willing to help us if we have the same cause as them.
Well, it's certain that the Order of the Gauntlet are here to purge the undead. They are most definitely unholy of things.
Wait, did you say unholy?
Yeah, undead are unholy. Undead are unholy.
Oh, well, no, I thought you meant the group. I was like,
Nope.
what?
Nope, nope. Certainly not.
I'd like to go up and shout out to the guards.
By all means, do so.
Is it alright if we mind and step for the night? Maybe get some food.
So these two guards are on alert, and they see you, and they basically look to you as let's see how might they particularly view you guys. So they basically say that, they're basically trying to decide, wait there, and we shall ask, Niles Breakbones if, you'll be welcome. And, one of the guards goes down away from the rampart and goes to deal with something. While the other guard just kind of, keeps watch over you, while you can tell by his expression that he looks very tired and he looks particularly exhausted and dour at the moment.
Do I remember any of the names from the board in the Thundering Lizard from the drinking board?
You mean the dinosaur names?
Yeah, there were names at the Thundering Lizard, and I kind of wondered if his name was on one of them. Because you said there was a drinking game, wasn't there?
Oh, no, his name doesn't come up there. Although maybe I shouldn't jump to that too hastily. Let me just double check that. Camera Vengeance. Breakbone. You know, they might well have a matching name. Yeah, it may well do. Let's see. Dinosaur racing. No, there was a bone cruncher. So, almost there.
Was close.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's not much to go on. Just let me to see if I can remember.
Yeah, no, you're just a little bit off, unfortunately. So, with that being in mind, yeah. Yes. So the gatehouse opens, and yeah, the gatehouse opens, and you're welcome inside. As you can see that inside, everything is pretty dour and grey in here. There's ankle-deep mud that seems to be clutching all the way up to your ankles as you are, like, clopping your feet deeper into this place as you enter deeper in. And the guard that came down basically says that go over to the commander's tent. He is expecting you guys. He says with a very downcast, sort of tired expression, as he sort of leads you towards the tent. Over there, you can see that there is most definitely a pretty broad, thick, heavy-plated man. Maybe once a handsome man with black hair that could reach to his shoulders, and you can see that there's a slight formation of a parting there, but you can see through the sweat that his curls of hair have long draped in a sweaty, untamed sort of mess as he is hung over maps of the jungle, just collections of little bits of maps here and there, as he basically says, he looks to you and he just goes, basically says to you, like, do you mean to do good in this jungle?
We mean in the curse of the undying, or I meant to say, we mean the end of death course.
He looks at you confoundedly, but he presses you, and he says, yes or no to the question, please.
We're
As
here
a
to do
cleric
good.
of the light, I always tend to do good.
I just say yes.
Yes.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I need a desperate envoy sent back to Port Nyanzaru. And before you say anything more, he turns around, he spins around, he throws aside a couple of bits of paperwork, and he hastily takes a sealed up scroll, and he says, "Stay here the night, pack up on provisions, and take this back to Port Nyanzaru." And he slams the envoy in your hand, whoever's closest, maybe the cleric, and he basically says, he basically says that I expect you to come back with reinforcements as soon as you can. We are struggling and we are dying of disease day by day.
Unfortunately, that's not the direction we are heading.
He goes still as he explains that no, you don't understand. We're dying. We're dying of disease. You need to take this to Port Nyanzaru. I had your word. You mean to do good.
I can help with disease. I can cure people here.
I can cure people too.
While you may be doing your own amount of curing, there are still many more who need to do scouting, and many more that need to pick up the slack. And every day that envoy isn't going back to Port Nyanzaru is a day that we're struggling worse. You can tell this is not your fault. Just to clarify out of character, this is not your fault. This guy is giving off some rather seriously stressed vibes at the moment. For whatever you guys have been dealing with in your pleasant jaunt through the jungle, he seems to be very stressed out at the moment. He seems to be at his end, his wit's end, and he basically says that I won't have any insubordination, not at this point. We have come too far and we've lost so much already. You will do this. You will take this envoy back to Port Nyanzaru.
I turn to the other and look at them, like in a way.
You're so quiet and mumbling I can't make sense of what you're saying.
Can you turn your
I
hand
look
up?
at I look at the others and look at them, saying, "What do you think?"
I'm just going. Well, sounds pretty serious. If you could just pay us a little more, then I'd be more willing.
We've already come too far on this quest. We need to find out about the curse, the death's curse. And as much as I want to help these people, if we go back, we're wasting our time.
And our money.
Yeah. Yeah. But if they die, what about this guild might seek revenge or something? Plus,
Maybe-
we already have that invoice right now. What do we do with it anyway?
Maybe we should ask Iku what she would do, or what her advice is on the situation. Should we go back, or should we go meet her contact?
She chooses silence because you guys are making the discussion right in front of this dude.
Oh yeah, frick.
And he understands what we're saying, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
I'm
does.
sure he speaks common.
I reserve my right to speak in Elvish.
Right.
Well, we should talk about this perhaps away from him, and at least back on the boats, or
That's
at least not in front of him.
yeah.
We will come back with our answer. And then make our way to our boats.
Hmm. Well, wait. What? You
said-
I was telling the person who's asking us.
you
to
just
send off
take the letter
that
and
we'll
go.
be back later.
Basically, you turn around, just about to leave without saying another word, but he just goes. He just holds you back and he just goes. That's not all. With the boats that you came up in, take 7 of the sick and take them down to Port Nyanzaru.
We're gonna have to do this, aren't we?
Well, we can't tell him that we were going to come back because he wants us to take the sick.
If we cure some of the sick, they can take their own people and the envoy up.
But he needs the resources here. That's what he was saying, that he can't spare any resources like his own.
They're sick anyway. If we heal them, they would be resources he wouldn't have had otherwise.
Would you
Yeah,
like
but-
to suggest that to him?
Yes, I would. I'll heal your sickest, and they'll be the ones to send off. You weren't using them anyway.
So, hang on. Yeah.
It's a persuasion check, isn't it?
No. He just goes by and says, "No, we have done our best to try to heal them ourselves. They need to be taken down to Port Nyanzaru. They have done their work, and they need to be replaced post haste. You need to take them on your own boats."
Can we return to our huddle?
Mm,
If he can pay our guide 5 gold pieces a day for how long we would take, it took us about 10 days to get down.
Also, if he can pay us something.
But we've already come too far. Like, we can't just turn back.
But we can't.
And it's
turn
not
back
like we
on
can
that.
go back anyway. Echo knows the way back and forth. We already paid her.
I know this may be hard, and trust me, it is hard for me. But we must
Okay.
continue on our quest.
It's not hard for me, it's just annoying. Besides, we might think about it though. He said that there was a big disease going on though.
Well, I've already given my voice, so what about the others?
I don't know if he will let us go.
Yeah, he
Return
might
our quest.
turn hostile.
Yeah.
there is a crazy vibe to him. There is.
Yeah.
It does need to be accounted for in this decision making.
Maybe it's not a good idea to have them have this camp as enemy.
Well,
Splitting into two parties sounds terrible.
Yeah. Besides, even if we split, the ones who go back to Norm wouldn't know the way anyway.
Just the river.
But yeah. Mm.
despite his craziness, I mean, and Elithil shrugs his shoulders. I say we keep going. We must, we must get to this oracle.
All right, role play what you say to this dude, please.
Oh boy.
Well, I don't want to make the decision for the group. I just wanted to hear what the
Oh, okay,
others have to say.
okay.
Well. Okay. You think? Okay. Best options here are, if we do split up, then we might have to access. If we do split up, though, we'd have to actually just follow the river back and then force to here. But they wouldn't know how to get there, so they'd be staying with this guy no matter what. If we do it, then we'd have to stay longer, and then we'd have to get the invoice, give it to whoever he's talking about. Then we have to make the trek all the way back to this place, and then the oracle again, which would take even longer and more gold.
And plus, that's more time than we're wasting. And this death's curse is certainly not going to solve itself.
Exactly, and it is withering away Syndra Sylvain's body, so, you may be taking off
Yeah.
half the time she has left on this earth with this.
But the
And we
Order
prob-
Gauntlet could be a good ally in the event we need help.
Yeah, that's true.
Airrock?
It's a coin flip, but we'd have to. It's more or less a coin flip. We'd have to just. Well, one option is one side stay. One option here is that one side stays in here while the other goes back, just so, at the very least.
We could supplement their guard while we send the envoy back, so that they're not as tired.
Yes.
If anybody goes with, this envoy with their diseased on boats back down through Port Nyanzaru, then you guys are on hold, and your amount of wait time won't be any different, essentially. The pause to your own trekking through the jungles will not be sped up. It will be just as slow. So, you may be able to help them out in such a fashion, but can you actually get further? Difficult.
I say,
believe it'll be
like I
better
said,
in the long run if we help them.
well, I disagree with that. I think we should just move on, but that's just my vote.
Okay, so should we vote?
Sure. We have one for saving and one for ditching.
I just don't want a knife in my back, so I should be safe.
Kolos is absolutely split because on one hand he wants to do immediate good, but on the other hand, the other one's the ultimate good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a cleric, he probably wants to help. So, I guess as a player, I'm split. As a character, probably he would want to help the start the Order of the Gauntlet, right?
Yeah, he's part of the Order of the Gauntlet, that is much for sure.
All right. Well, I guess it's outnumbered then. Void is unanimous.
Wait, how many voted to help?
3 to save, 1 on the fence, and 1 to ditch them.
Tell me an end result, please. That's what I need to hear for.
The vote says,
Sure,
but
I think it's to save these people. I think.
yeah,
yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're sending an envoy back. So now we have to decide how we're sending the envoy.
I guess it's a matter of who's gonna go.
I will stay and hold the fort.
Are you sure you want to split?
or we can all go. So either we all go as a party or we split. I recommend staying as a party.
Yeah, let's stay at the party. Let's never split.
All right, then so be it.
Okay.
Alright. Taking on a side quest.
And your decision is.
We're saving him.
Back up.
All right. So yeah, you agreed to take his sick down the river and back to Port Nyanzaru. I heard a s, but I think that's a yes. So you do so, and he basically gives a sigh of relief as he goes to the light cleric's shoulders, and he puts a firm, heavy hand on your shoulder pads, as he basically just looks at you with some measure of relief, though it comes behind a stern-looking face, as he says that you will go as quick as you can, and as soon as you return with further allies, we will surely make better progress around here than we have so far. Thank you.
I'd like to pat him on the back and say very proudly, when the going gets tough, you call Prom. Oh, hello.
Awesome. He says that we have many diseases in the camps here, but you are welcome to camp around, nearby, wherever takes your fancy. But you must be off tomorrow morning, post haste.
We can do that.
Brilliant. Have a word with old Firebeard and let's see. Have a word with old Firebeard and Perny. The two of them are my left hand man and my right hand woman in this camp. And I'll be continuing to look over these maps while trying to continue my duties. Just talk to them if you have any issues. For now, I'm going to leave you to it. They will assign you the disease to take down to Port Nyanzaru. And with that, you guys are left to your own devices. Right. And we'll deal with the rest of the camp in your next session. Alright, bye-bye.